to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Bring sleep or snow. Pre-game and it's good to go.
Snow, Curtis blow, flow, fuck all you haters. Fuck making bitch using best simulators. Fuck cashing in, all we wanna do is win. Put the juice in the gin, now it's time to begin. Fuck the books, they can take it on the chin. Surrendering dividends, don't fuck with my game. The show starts with capping and ends with them slapping and stacking cash and boatloads. They won't know what happens. It's pre-gaming and others, they seem lame. Like Abel meeting Cain, a bullet to the brain. We don't give a fuck like Kiki said. We ain't playing, we in game, but we ain't playing.
I'm back and I'm joined with my guy. Oh, get a fight! Get a fight! Get a fight! Get a fight! What up? Good morning. Welcome into a new show here on the Sports Money Network, and it features none other than my friend, your favorite, kind of making the Mac Daddy, and I here to break down the college basketball cards for you guys, give you our best bets, our live action.
That was wild.
And we got a big card, C-Mac. Happy Saturday. How you feeling?
Optimistic. You got to feel fucking optimistic, right? I mean, we're getting, like, I told you these Saturdays a little bit the last few weeks. There's a lot of games, a lot of it to get through, but trying to weed out, what we want, what we don't want. I know you're back, right? UFC is back.
Yeah, UFC's back. Man, it's funny. Some guy was tweeting the other day about how he's like, look at this card. There's weight cuts that have been, or missed weight cuts and poor salaries and players. I was just thinking, dude, it's been 6 weeks. We haven't even had a UFC card here. Let's give it some time and get back into it. So I'm really excited. I was saying that the other day there, I think I was talking to my brother. I said, with no UFC, sometimes those losses that you take on a Saturday really add up. But we've been stacking and cashing. This is fun though. This is the time of year for college basketball. We're in divisional conference play and getting ready for the big days.
Yeah, and I thought this is what my Saturdays are going to be so packed with college hoops. I was like, look, we got to get on and do this. We'll have next week too. I'll dual stream. I'll have hitting the books a little co-stream it.
Yeah.
From my channel to yours. But today we're here. You ready to get into college basketball, or what do you want to do? You want to talk a little bit? What you won, what you lost, what happened yesterday? Give me all the numbers.
I don't know what happened yesterday. I don't even know where I was. Oh, you know what? Yesterday, I'll tell you what. We've got an impending snowstorm coming. If you guys may or may not have heard, so I actually had to cancel my show because I ran out last minute not last minute, but I ran out after the football show to kind of stock up and mostly make sure that I don't want to be snowed in with no booze. So
wow,
that
would be wild with you snowed in, no booze.
Dude, I'd be fucking biting my fingers off. So anyhow, real
quick. You have delivery though. In New York, do you have booze delivery?
Yeah. There's delivery, but if they got 2 feet of snow, they ain't delivering shit. So,
well, yeah, that's true. Because one thing with Vegas is I'll just order like from the grocery store. They don't do tobacco or booze. It's the one thing. Other than Las Vegas, is pretty lax, I think. It always pisses me off. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just
tobacco. No tobacco. I've been there.
They deliver weed real easy, man. They just sign off, don't give a fuck. You just tip them. See you. Get with it. Get with the booze.
I didn't make it home in time. In fact, somebody had messaged me and like, well, why don't you just go on and rip it anyways? And I said, I haven't looked at the card enough to even really get into it. But I made a couple nice bets. It's funny. I made one bet that I was, the happy accident. So I took a hockey bet there where I wanted the Flyers and Avalanche, both teams to score in the first period. And I parlayed it with the Rangers, both teams to score in the first period. And when I went back to look at the ticket, I'm like, shit, it was like 2-0, I think, Philadelphia in the first period. And I looked and I actually accidentally clicked Philly to win the first period, not both teams to score. And then the Rangers game, first period, both teams to score. So that cashed. That was my happy accident. It should have been a loss. It was a win. Probably the biggest loss of the night for me, though, was that Rangers game not going over. Dude, it was like 3-1 first period. It was a 6.5. It was like a 22-game win streak. And I know we're here to talk about college hoops, but that one left a little dagger in the side. And then I lost was it Utah State late last night. So, looking to bounce back, get back in the Saturday.
I knew you'd be on Utah State.
Fucking 4 point. What was it, 5.5? And they came back. I mean, they were getting crunched at halftime. I think they were down like 12 rack or something.
Hey, Colorado State wanted to blow that game. Wanted to lose it. They did, but that was about as bad second half as you could get.
Just not enough. And, then there's some other games that I wanted to get involved with. It feels like I'm starting to see, the landscape's kind of settling down. That's why this is such an opportune time for the show, because, you start that non-conference bullshit early in the season and some of those early tournaments. And it's kind of like, reminds me a little bit of growing up playing hockey. Like back in Thanksgiving time, you had these tournaments that had no fucking relevance. You wouldn't see the teams again. And it was like, you're just trying to get out there and kind of figure out and establish your identity. And, now we're past that, right? Now we're through that holiday stretch, and we've got these teams that are going to start seeing each other for the second time, which gives us a good opportunity to try to look for revenge or rematch spots here. We kind of see the tide is washed out, and we kind of see who some of these teams are. Now, the schedule today, kind of transition here, is a little bit awkward because they have moved some games around for the travel circumstances, because the majority of the snow is supposed to come out here between tonight and tomorrow. So they moved some games up. We've got a ton of 11 o'clock that's already tipped off. Figure we'll kind of run through the board. I've got an idea what C-Mac's looking at. He's got an idea what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
We figured we would kind of talk to you guys about some of the spots that we have, but please, you guys in the chat, make sure you, first and foremost, appreciate you being here and hit the thumbs up button. Second off, if you have questions about some of the games that you're looking at, fire those in the chat. We'll see if we can't try to give you guys some semblance of what we're looking at when it comes to those games as well. What do you think, C-Mac?
All right.
Sound good?
I'm ready. Sounds good. You got, real quick, before we get into our things, is there anything in these games that are going to tip off 45 minutes? Because I don't have much. You want to look at any of these time slot right here? Real quick. Anything?
Yeah, I let's see here. So, the big spots that are kind of calling out, right? Nebraska, Minnesota. Nebraska brings in this monster win streak. Right, undefeated on the season, dominating the Big Ten as they're rolling into this thing. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of love on the other side here. Minnesota, the Gophers seem to be getting some cash and some action. Everyone seems to feel this is the time where this is the loss is coming for Nebraska. I don't know if I agree with that, though. I mean, I was looking at this game, and I know it's moved from 5.5 to 4.5, but we've got this kind of situation. It's kind of the classic one here. Ranked team against the unranked opponent. And, as much as that's kind of just, I don't want to call it overplayed here, but it's cashing. I mean, it's won 7 in a row. It's won 9 of its last 10. And the fact that you've got 76% of the bets and 76% of the cash on the Nebraska side of things, and it's moving away from them, definitely has me thinking that I'm getting Nebraska at a better price tag right now. So I did move in on the minus 4.5. And I know some sharp bettors are looking at this Minnesota side of things here, but what are you trying to do here? You're trying to look at this Minnesota team, 4 straight losses, close losses in their own right. They're a fighting team, but at what point? I mean, they got gassed by Illinois, and that was at Illinois. They lose by 10 points out there, but they covered. That's their last cover. They played Ohio State. They got beat up by Ohio State. So it just kind of seems like this team's 2-3 in their last 5 on the Minnesota side. C-Mac, is there any reason to think that Minnesota is going to go out there and stop this thing and maybe even outright win this game, or can I get you in on the Nebraska side with me?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to bet the game at all here. Nebraska. I think the loss is coming. This seems like maybe just an early sleepy spot, though. And I think that's why we've come down to 4.5. It's been tough. It's tough with the Minnesota team. Now they've covered. They've lost a bunch of home games, by 2 points, 3 points. So I think that's where people see the value, but they just keep losing. I mean, people riding Nebraska, I think they're going to lose here soon. Of course, this is college basketball. The schedule is just too tough as you get going. Minnesota, though, a team they need Tyson. to play well. They need these guys to shoot well. Johnson, you know what I mean? Because they just struggle at times. So, yeah, I'd be on Minnesota. This Nebraska team, all it did, I kept talking about it, but I've just stayed off, and I'm staying off here, is I took them all non-conference. I was laying the points, taking their team total, winning, and I want to fade them on the road, and I just sat here every game. They won, they covered, so that's how I feel here. Because I think once they lose, they're going to lose a couple here on the road. So, yeah, I'm off. But that's a great game here, tipping off. Just 40 minutes? Should be good.
40 minutes or so off.
You bet it. You're on Nebraska.
I'm on Nebraska -4.5.
Right.
So there's an official play to kick the slate off for you guys here. Robert McCormick's got a question about the UNC Virginia game. He says he leans the heels, but wouldn't mind our thoughts. It's funny that you bring that one up, Bobby Mack, because I was talking to C-Mac a little bit before the show here. I'm a Virginia unders guy here, and Virginia home unders rocking and rolling, ripping and roaring here.
Me too.
150.5. It's getting a little bit to that point now where I'm questioning, is this game, are they trying to tell us this game's going to go over the number? Any thoughts on this? I mean, we're looking at 6.5, C-Mac, not to put you on the spot here, but the game has come down from 149.5 to 148.5. Can I get you to co-sign the under with me on this game?
Yeah, I would take the under. I'm a Virginia under. It seems like with this number, North Carolina, off the nice win, it seems like always at home they beat up Notre Dame too, right? Big win. Wasn't it a 20-point win here? 91-69. Big win. They were laying a ton of points in that game. It's gone over. Busting them up. I think they've gone over in 5 straight. Virginia needs to play at their place. If they don't, that means North Carolina's in this game. If they want to get up and down. So we were touching on that. I lean under. Is this too low favoring for a North Carolina game? How'd you feel about that? Or are you just banking on Virginia here at home with this line?
That's my fear. Is this too low? Because if you look at these games, if you look at the profile for UNC when they played that Notre Dame spot, 148.5, the number that we're looking at right now, it goes over.
Yeah.
They play at Stanford, 148. It goes over. I mean, they've got, five overs in a row. But conversely, Virginia comes in with 5 unders in a row here. And it doesn't matter if they're 148.5, 143.5 against that Stanford team. I guess the question is, does UNC come out there and have a fighting chance? And to your point, if they do, then, maybe this game ends up going over. But I like the under in this game.
Virginia has been dominant at home. I'm surprised this has gone this far out. We have 7. So
yeah, it seems like for UNC to be rolling in here 15-4 and picking up 7.5 points just kind of seemed like for me, when I read that line, it tells me it's going to be Virginia that dictates the style and tempo of this game. And if that's the case, this game should go into the 130s and not get 15 points off this total type of thing. Not a situation where we see the blowout of 150s and 160s, but.
Yeah, well, it's the consistent UNC with all those overs. Like, it's probably defenses shooting the ball well. That's just where and it could continue. This basketball, they could continue to shoot the ball well. But a road game, this seems like kind of a spot where they could, not have the best day.
Well, I'll move around down to the 12:30 time slot because I've got some action that I jumped in on here with this game between Georgetown and Providence. The other day I was wearing my Providence hoodie, as my guy Shark says. My buy shirt was engaged here. 62% of the bets came in on the Georgetown side of things here, but 55% of the cash on Providence. So a little bit of a house divided between the public and, I don't want to say the sharps, but there's some bigger money coming in, obviously, on the Providence side. Total, 70% of the bets, 74% of the cash coming in on the under, and there hasn't been any movement on that side of things here. But, where I've been struggling with Providence here is they're inconsistent at best, right? This team kind of, you look up and down the board here, and that Marquette game. Now, I had 2.5. I know we were live. I think we were live for football during that game, if I'm not mistaken. And the majority of the squad had Providence +1, +1.5. And, they go into overtime. They play that Marquette squad on the road, tight game out there. They are 3-2 Providence in their last 5, but I'm looking at this Georgetown side of things here and thinking this has got to be a desperate, feisty team. And the fact is, 5 straight losses, 6 straight losses. They've only covered the spread once. If you're going to get in on Georgetown, I thought this was that buy low situation. And where we've got the the opportunity. I talk about Providence, CMAC, and I talk about that 105 points that they let up against Marquette. Look, it's not just that. 88 points against Creighton, 88 points against Villanova, 97 points at Xavier, 103 against UConn. This defense stinks on the Providence side of things, and that's ultimately, they're finding a way to cover the spread, but that's when they're getting points. You flip this thing around here, and in the Big East, the road team against a poor unranked defense just doesn't find a way to get it done. So the 5.5 for Georgetown, I could almost go as far as to see Georgetown sneaking in here and finding a way to get the outright win. 59-29 are what these Big East road teams do when they're playing a poor unranked defense out there. So give me Georgetown. Give me the 5.5 points with Georgetown, C-Mac.
Yeah, I haven't heard any. Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, that's what you want to hear. What's his name? Edwards hasn't played, right? And he's not going to play still. He's missed the last 3 games. Yeah, for Providence. I think that hurts, but they're at home. The one thing is with them, I don't want to lay points with them. I think it's Georgetown. Yeah. They've had the problem though. This is like the pace thing. Like now today, can they get easy baskets? A team that struggles to score with Georgetown. It's just slower. Just doesn't shoot the 3 well. I mean, they're bad from the inside, only 43% too. It's 275. It's just been a struggle, but they kept in games. It was just nothing I wanted a part of. But go Hoyas. I hope you win.
The problem I have with Georgetown is they're probably, well, I guess there's a couple problems I have with them. They don't exceptionally shoot the 3, and they don't get free throws consistently. So I mean, they're okay at them, but it's like when they get to that charity stripe there, their hands are shaking and wobbling. So 5.5 probably seems like the right number. It wouldn't surprise me to see Georgetown find a way to pick these guys off. I mean, look, 96% of the bets, 97% of the cash said fuck the points and just give me Providence money line. And the thing came down 60 cents. So you got all that money coming in on Providence here. And if I
always tell you, real quick, lay points with a bad defense is a bad scenario. Yeah. I think in college basketball, and every number with Providence is in the 300s, just about,
100% with you there. We got some MAC games going on here, some MAAC games you guys through the window. I'm a big proponent of the unders. C-Mac and I talked about this on Thursday there. Some of these unders. We'll talk about a couple of those games that are flying down here, but I think our purpose here is really just to kind of talk to you guys about the card that we have, right? We're trying to help you guys funnel these games. There's so many of them on the Saturday slot that we want to try to help you guys figure out where we're putting our money, where we're investing our time and our efforts here. And, I'll keep it going. I got another spot. Sometimes I get bit with these early cards. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, C-Mac, where it's like, if I go too heavy at like 12 or 1 o'clock, I'm probably going to be chasing losses by 7, 8 o'clock. So I try to keep that in mind as I break down the card. Do you think there's any validity in that process for your betting purposes and betting style? Or is it just kind of like, hey, you find the games you like and you rip them?
I think it's find the games you like. I think that's an old thing from maybe, I don't want to say bad gamblers, but I think it's something you weed out. I'm serious though, but you start to weed out after the years that you got to really love it, especially with all these games like this. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, these early start, I'll just pass on it. I think we've got a billion other ones to find value on. Let me touch on one game right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, tell me what you're struggling with, Mike.
I was going to say, I struggle with like when I see the 11 o'clock window, like the younger me used to be like, I got to go find like 6 games in these. Let me take this 11 a.m. game and bet it 5 different ways and see if my day starts off big or down. It's like, what a foolish way to do it, because there's so many, you know what, maybe that 2:30 slot has a game that I really like and I'll bet that thing 2 or 3 ways, but
yeah,
go ahead.
That's how I think. Yeah, like for real, I'm a big early morning under if I look at them. And then the teams that they play these late Saturday games that are all, it's just like Eastern Washington, Portland State, some of these teams, like Montana that we get like on a late Saturday that are good overs that I find the value in. I'll be on an over there, you know what I mean, with the start time. What do you think? This Army team is not very good. This is a game I have circled here. Of course, Navy's been really good at home, but they hate each other. Is this line too big? I don't know if I can trust Army. They've been that bad this year. They've been pretty good on the road, though. They've been good on the road, better on the road. I mean, can they hang here with Navy?
I don't know how they're going to – I mean, that's
Yeah.
10.5 points is a lot
So-
of points, but the challenge is can Army match suit? I mean, if you look at kind of, Navy's not adverse to going out there putting up 75, 80 points. Oh shit.
What?
I thought I froze up. Froze up.
No,
I was
you're
trying
good.
to load up this Army Navy game here, but I mean, 10.5 feels like the right number to me. I mean, Army should be able to stay. I mean, it's a big rivalry game. Obviously, Army Navy is always a rivalry game. I was thinking about I guess it just comes down. Fuck, this thing won't load for me. On the Navy side of things, though, I mean, these guys aren't adverse to putting up 75, 85 points a game out there. And I don't know, is this a step down in competition? I mean, they were laying a 10-pack against Holy Cross. They still beat the shit out of Holy Cross by like 30 points. What are you leaning to? Army or no play there for me here. I've been just looking at that one last night and tonight. You got a couple more here. Let's get into some that we're on. Or we want to talk about these. You want a St. Peter's Merrimack under. Tell me you like that. Is that the game you're going to tell me? Merrimack unders have
That's what I'm saying.
The gift that keeps on giving for me. I mean, you look at these guys up and down now. Even wasn't it even again the other day that they cashed out there and put some money in my pocket. So I can't fault anybody for that spot. I didn't jump in on that game though. That one, there's a couple that kind of near missed for me. I thought Merrimack was one of those games that's kind of that near miss. What time slot is that at? Is that 1 o'clock as well?
Yeah, it's 3 Eastern.
Okay. I'll tell you, before we move past the 1 p.m. slot there, I jumped in on Texas. I've got Texas. As a matter of fact, I've got both Texas teams. I've got a lot of Texas today, for that being said. I laid the -2.5 here. This guy, 41% of the bets, 56% of the cash came in on Texas. I see they're 16-3. But I'm not a believer on this Georgia side of things here. I just don't, as far as the way that this team, kind of competes. And to me, it's more of an ability for Texas to kind of, I guess I'll call it the rebounding side of things here. Where's the advantage, right? Texas certainly not afraid. Offensive rebounding, I think, is the edge that we see with the Texas side of things here. Florida's able to go out there. If you look at kind of recent opponent and kind of see what happened out there, that's where I thought Georgia kind of showed that I don't want to say they're small, but 92-77. I think Texas matches up much more like a Florida team than some of these closer games. And you look at, post that Florida game where they got boarded to Christ, 3-1 in their last 4 on this Georgia side of things here. So I think what's happening is they opened this line, and to me, the fact that it immediately moved from 1.5 to 2.5 and even 3s showed that there was a little bit of concern. 3-1 the last 4 on this Texas side of things here. I'm going to take the Texas Longhorns. Hook them. I'll lay the -2.5. There's some 2.5s, 3s, and now there's even 3.5. Some late money coming in on the Georgia side of things here, C-Mac. But I'm gonna go with the Hook 'em Horns.
Yeah, I want to go past 3.5. I don't want to lay more than 3.5 with Texas.
No.
So I have waited long. I don't want it. This is a team I haven't wanted to lay points a ton with, even here at home in a spot. This is a good spot. That's what people see. These are what sharps everyone else are seeing in this game. That's why it's going that way. Georgia's been good on the road, though. This team I've surprised me a little bit because some of the numbers, metrics, and all that shit we talk about that maybe they aren't that good. No, I'm just saying it's true. Always the lingo everyone throws around. My algorithm, my everything, whatever the fuck. But I think they're due, and I think it's showing. We got a couple of those today that, but I think a team on the road that could get beat. So get it.
I got one more in this early window. I did jump in on Dartmouth against Columbia, and probably thinking, whoa, I mean, this is a barn burner, right? Let's go. And for me, when it gets involved with these New York States college gambling, I got to go to the local. So then I got to get involved, and it's just a whole process for me from the legit side of things here. So that being said, my purpose by saying that is if I'm butting on a New York team, I really like the spot. And to me, it's that fade on the Columbia side of things here. And that's been making us some money here. Conference opponents, if you fade this Columbia team, they're just not stacked and suited to play. If you fade Columbia after a loss, you've won 12 straight times. So This team's just bad. They keep losing. They keep finding a way to lose. I want to say they're just bad. I mean, they probably fit well inside the conference, but this thing opened at +1.5. It's got such low activity that these are the games I like to be involved with. I mean, we got a 732 count ticket sample here. The under's getting some cash. They're not showing us the splits on the sides here. It hasn't moved off the 1.5. Probably a lower scoring game, but to me, this is that spot. I want to just get involved in fading Columbia, and Dartmouth is the ticket for me today. Plus, Dartmouth's they're 3-1 in their last 4. Playing in the Ivy League, they're playing tough. They played teams like Harvard. They busted them up as a dog. They won outright, 7.5 points. They went on the road, took down Harvard in their own barn. Same thing with Cornell, 9-point dog out there. They were at Princeton. They were a dog against Princeton. They won that game outright. So when you put them in the favorite role against UPenn, Dartmouth ends up not finding a way to meet the battle here. They lose by 10 outright. But as a dog, live dog spots in some of these cases out there. Look, they've even played teams like Florida. We just talked about that Florida team, 94-72. Yeah, they got busted up, but reality is they're getting 35.5 points. They still covered, and we get paid off of covers, but I think this is a spot where Dartmouth can get us the job. So I got Dartmouth +1.5.
Excellent. I got nothing on that game.
It's funny because our mutual friend likes to get on the big games and the big screens and it's the Big 10 or the Big 12 and they're playing at 12 and I don't know, man. We've talked about this time and again and it's the edge, right? Where do we get our edge? Our edge comes from the fact that the books have to put lines on all these fucking games and you and I can come in here and start to hand pick the spots that we want to get into. So where you want to take us next?
I'm on a couple spots. Let's get to it here. I always want to look for in these conference games a home dog. But there's some that I just have to eliminate. Like I'd like to be on Georgia Tech today. I just can't do it. I can't trust that team at all. It's another team. This team didn't even score. Had them last Saturday, and then they just lost to Boston College. That's Pitt. It seems like are they going to play a better home game today? This is the spot. Dude, they scored I don't even know what the game was. That was so bad to watch. At least it was over quick. I wasn't. It was over so fast that didn't have to lounge around with it. I'm here. Let me get to the game that we're on here. Mike, did you real quick on the game that's going on? Did you take anything in the Ole Miss Kentucky game?
I got the under. I jumped in on the unders. Talk about early morning unders. I don't know. I haven't even looked to see how it's. Is it working for me? I think it was 144.5. Yeah,
I definitely wouldn't take the total there.
I'm still the guy. I still want to get in on that early action, but it kind of kicked off a couple parlays for me and a little side spot there.
Well, I can't find it here. I'm on St. Joe's +6.5.
Okay.
This is going away for me a little bit.
Against Dayton?
5.5. Dayton's gone from 5.5 to 6.5. Depends how you look at it. Some of these moves in college basketball they don't, as much as I love to see the money, I want to see it, like a dog that's coming down a little bit. I think you like that better. But sometimes I think of it as there's all these games like you're talking about. And just as good as the public, you want to fade them, they win. It's Sharps lose. This is just, as we see. I just think a spot. St. Joe's has been tough. That's why I think Dayton goes in there and rolls. And this team can struggle to score at times, St. Joe's. But I don't know. I think it's just kind of a circle spot here against State. So I took it +6.5. St. Joe's.
68% of the bets, 68% of the cash on the St. Joe's side of things there. Totals moved up.
It's gone the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man, listen, I think you're going to see a lot more of this now with the recreational betting getting the way it is now. You're going to see some money coming in and they're just going to be favorite. I mean, public loves favorites, right? We know that. They're looking out there saying, oh, I can get Dayton and I'm only laying 4.5. Well, you're going, I mean, the A10 tough. Those barns, man, it's tough to travel to those spots. They're in dungy little holes in the fucking middle of nowhere. I think about St. Bonaventure when it comes down to that. Olean, New York. Shit, man.
Yeah.
You're 2 hours away from anything, and it's a tough travel.
What's happened with St. Bonaventure, though? What's happened with them?
What's happening with St. Bonaventure? I mean, those boys can't find a cover to save their lives. They're on the struggle bus, man. They got, 30 points yesterday? I know one of my buddies he loves Bonaventure, and he's a Bonaventure grad, and he was like, Man, you got to I think it was it plus
8.5
or something? Was it 8.5?
Is it 8.5?
I was like, I don't
7.5.
know. And I like the under in that game yesterday. I lost by the hook on the under, so I was a little chapped by that because it looked good all game, and then just a late sporadic move of scoring fucked me on that game. So I see your Merrimack there. I see that 133.5 on the St. Peter's Merrimack side went from 132.5 to 133.5. I mean, you wouldn't have to twist my arm too hard to get me on the under in that game. I see Illinois Purdue at 3 p.m. I know that's a game that you had circled here. We got a plus 2.5 on the Illinois side's moved to 5.5. 56% of the bets, 48% of the cash are on the Illinois side of things here. The Fighting Illinois, stupid name for my opinion, but anyhow, 150.5. This total's moved up to 154.5. You got 81% of the bets, 81% of the cash on it. Talk to us about how you're getting paid in this game.
Yeah, this is a double dip. Not only the over, we'll get into that. I just think in the end, there's just too much scoring. The only thing is, this is why I like Purdue. This is my main bet. Even though I'm going to piece this over, is coming after UCLA. I just faded him. I was on UCLA. You know, Dent finally had a really big game. He's been so MIA for UCLA. It's just a tough trip. And they had tough shooting nights, those two games, against SC. That game, a game that went under, that was a 155. And then, of course, UCLA, 147.5. I just think, and even with this, so it's gone to 4.5. That's what I took, but it's gone to 6. Like, I think you look at Purdue's team total even then, or just they're over. If you want to look at that now, if that's just gone to point and a half. Everyone's seeing what I'm seeing. Purdue hasn't covered 5 straight when they've been at home against Iowa, Penn State, all these teams. They're laying 20, 16.5. Now, Illinois has been red hot. Anyone want to fade them, Mike? You want to fade them? I bet you there's nobody. No, nobody wants to fade Illinois. I think this is, and I don't think they've played anybody on the road. The Iowa win, I guess, is pretty good. Northwestern, Penn State, they won by 8. I think this is a fade spot for them. And tough to play, bounce back. I think Purdue shoots the ball well. This is even one. I don't do it's crazy, but I do a little bit with college basketball to find any edges like first half with Purdue. You know what I mean? I think they come out. I mean, I try to sometimes, like, I'm not the craziest on like splitting it all the time. Sometimes it's just if I love enough, I'll just go first half. I just took this yesterday for the spot. I was running through it. I thought it was even at 4.5 was short enough. You know me, Mike. I don't lay a lot of points, but I am here. I'm laying it. So Purdue, any which way.
So I'll tell you, I can get down with that. You've got that top 25 when you're the home team and the spread's lower than a -5. Lower meaning bigger, I guess in this case. It's a win spot. It's 6-4 its last 10, but over the long haul, these teams. If you're going to buy low, I don't know if there's such a thing in the Big East and buying low here, but Purdue, not covering the spread, 4-1 in their last 5, and they're a 5.5 point favorite against this Illinois team that's been ripping the shit out of everybody. I think it's a good look. I like that. And I could get down with that. I think that's a good looking spot out there. Purdue, the Boilermakers.
Couple of Boilermakers right at the bar. 4 Boilermakers.
With the voice of Boilermakers here. I'll tell you a couple. One of the spots that I was looking at here as we're kind of going down. I mean, UCF Colorado's a Big 12. That's a big game for them boys out there. But I really didn't touch that game. I didn't really get too involved there. I mean, I kind of want to just take the UCF under in that spot, but I didn't touch it. Iowa State. I think Iowa State beats the shit out of Oklahoma State. But you want to lay 10.5 on the road? It's a big travel spot for them boys. Seems like a lot of points to probably. Yeah. Maybe that's one of them spots. How do you rip that one in half too? Like if you say, I'll lay 5.5 or 6.5, they're on the road. Sometimes that slow sluggish start's just enough that they can't find a way to get it done. A team that I've been really having some success with are the Privateers in New Orleans. Them point shavers, man. I like Scandal as good as the next guy. And them boys find a way to, they're under the microscope, but they're getting 17.5 now. So I thought that team's been a really great over team. This theory kind of being, well, if you're under scrutiny for shaving points, you're probably going to go out there and actually give it your all the next time out. And it seems like that's why the overs have been cashing for me on that New Orleans side of things. But I didn't get involved there. I'll tell you the one that I did, C-Mac. 4 p.m. I got a couple 4 p.m. I got 2 back-to-back spots here in the 4 p.m. window. Try to spread the action out a little bit through the day. And you know me. You know me. I like these overs, and I'm looking at this Denver spot here, North Dakota and Denver. The line's at 4.5. Hasn't moved. We got, again, another low ticket count, 827. It's almost like I should sort by the lowest ticket counts and make my plays based on that here. But it's a huge number, 164.5. It's dropped a little bit to 163.5. I mean, Denver this season, Denver's rocking a 15-2 over trend. And that's like one of them spots where it's due. Has the book caught up to it now? 67% of the bets, 67% of the cash are on the under. It has come down, 2 points in that degree or that regard. But North Dakota is a team that to me was another one of them an over school. But just came off of that North Dakota. I'm sorry. Where is it? Come on. Goddamn computer.
Oral Roberts win? They just beat Oral Roberts?
Oral Roberts, yep.
Yeah.
North Dakota, an over school, right? I've been betting North Dakota overs and Denver overs. And yet North Dakota just comes off of that under against that Oral Roberts game. So 79-62, goes under by almost 10 points. They brought this number down too. I mean, 160 is a lofty number, but look at the profile that Denver's been playing with their totals. 162.5, 170.5. Yeah, there's that 156.5 in there and then a 160.5 again, but 15-2 to the over is good enough spot for me to say I'll get involved with this game here. It's as ugly. I mean, probably, if you take a look at the Summit Road Dogs, opponents off a loss, and they're off a road win. So that's North Dakota. They've won 8 times in those positions, 8-1-1 in the Summit. So if you had to take a spot, this is probably a good little tricky dog situation, but I'm going to take the over. I think the points kind of lend to this game going to the over as well. If you're looking at North Dakota, the dog wins this game, it's because they're going out there and they're making their threes. They're making their free throws. They're doing it all, connecting, and 163.5 is a big number, but I think it's a big number for a reason. So I'm on the 163.5 in the over in this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch the under at all in this game. One thing record wise for the most part, because it moved a few points, but if you got in 158.5, that game went over the Denver game, because it closed at 160. I'm just saying. So mostly the record, like if you're that, it's still 17-1. I want nothing to do with it. They're going to have to push this higher. The book, they just were lax on it. I think they're going to have to get to 160, 170. Just not a whole lot of defense from them. In Denver too, I've took them, a decent amount. Their favorite here. I'd rather have them as dog. That's where I've took them, and they've come through for me. I thought this team was a lot better preseason when I was going through it than a lot they were given. You know what I mean? When I go through all these small summit type conferences. So, yeah. I don't blame you. Over. I get it. Over. Rover, as I say. Over. Play there.
Red Rover. Send that son of a gun way the hell on over here. I'm going to go to Stephen F. Austin as well. That's my spot there. Lamar's probably a fine fella. This game started at -3.5. It's moving to 4.5. Again, small ticket count. But it was like a back-to-back 4 p.m. spot for me here. And Stephen F. Austin here, the Lumberjacks, have been finding a way, doing their thing throughout the Southland here at 16-3. The problem is I've been on some, I guess sometimes when I look at these games, it's like Lamar, right? They play that New Orleans spot. There's that over that I talked about. The Privateers love to get themselves some overs. And Lamar got cooked like a Christmas goose. They got busted up by 13 points. That was a situation where New Orleans, think about right now New Orleans is getting 17.5 points. That tells you about New Orleans for this game today. And then on the other side of things, Lamar's a small dog, and they got ripped. Granted, it was on the road, but, they did beat Nichols. All right, I guess so be it. But this is an ugly conference, and I just think this class of this conference is Stephen F. Austin. They went out there in New Orleans. They busted up New Orleans. No problem doing that. They go to Nichols. They busted them up. I mean, if you look at the college basketball, who's beating who in the ladder game, if you will, and what the rankings say, this is a Stephen F. Austin spot. They're laying 4.5 on the road. I'm comfortable laying the 4.5. It went from 3.5 to 4.5 for a reason. So give me some Stephen F. Austin. Give me that cash out there for the 4 p.m. window. You like Stephen F. Austin?
No. They've been playing well of late. They've been good on the road. You're seeing that. I mean, you see this, right?
Yeah.
They've been really good ATS. I think they have the better team. I think these teams are a little bit similar. This number, I think, is right, is the total. I'd want with Lamar, they want to slow it down as the under. I just don't think there's enough value, around that mid. If this was 140 in that range, I'd be all over this under, all over it. I think, and I think Lamar keeps this. I don't think it was enough points. You're right. Stephen F. Austin's been very good on the road, but I don't think much separates these two teams, to tell you the truth, at all. Stephen F. Austin's offense a little bit better too. They on both sides of the ball. I mean, that's what you're looking at. That's why you want to lay the points with them.
Just feels like I can sneak in there with the backdoor. It's getting a little lofty, but I think that initial move on a small ticket count that's kind of the profile that I look for when it comes to the cash flow moving here.
You know what I always hate? This conference is shitty. Real quick, right? I hate a team laying points on the road. They might just be better than that. Free throws. They're a bad free throw shooting team. 65%. It's 353. That always is an X for me. No fucking way. But maybe they're just not better, like we're talking about. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do it. But good luck.
Luck I'll need for that 4 p.m. window. We've got a couple more here that we've got circled for you guys for the afternoon slate and the evening slate. You want to take us down to the next one?
There's one game here that's at this time. I haven't took it yet. I think the line's too big. I just don't want Auburn on the road. Florida's had some dominant home wins. But I think the number's too big here. 11.5, or they're 12s even. I'd have to look. Right? What's the number here?
I'm seeing a lot of 11.5s, but I'm sure you can catch a 12 out there.
Yeah, I think there's too many points. It is a lot of points. I know Auburn hasn't looked great. I want to take them a course at home. They play a lot better basketball. I think this line is just too big. Man, yeah, there is I don't see any 12s. This is moved too. All money on Florida. Opens 9.5, moves 11.5. We see this all the time. I mean, there's another similar one. Can these teams separate and play better at home? I mean, look at Ole Miss, Kentucky. That was another game, right, with a bigger line. Thinking they're going to dominate at home. But has Kentucky been consistent at all? Florida a little bit more. Florida's won more games at home. They have the size, blah, blah, blah. But they all have, of course, the guard play that they had that made them so great last year. You know what I mean? I think there's still some working out there. So I was just leaning Auburn. I just wanted to touch on that game. Give me your next one. We'll get going here soon.
Florida's been nuking teams at home in the SEC. I mean, they're what?
Well, that's why on the line.
Yeah. Busted up 10 straight wins out there on top of it. I mean, that's a bad team, man. I mean, a bad team is they'll beat your ass and they don't think twice about it. So that's a tricky, dangerous little spot to be involved with here. I like some unders, and I haven't gotten here yet with the window here, but just some things for you guys to think about. The Air Force Boise State, it's 22.5. It's moved to 20. I mean, it's moving down because that's a lot of points for a home Boise State team, but Air Force stinks. That's a fucking bad team.
Bad basketball team. Holy shit.
I mean, just bad. And it's funny. A friend of mine talked about some theorem, if you will, some theoretical application when it comes to Air Force, right? Why don't you want to back Air Force basketball? Because they don't want 7-footers sitting inside of them fucking jets. You can't get inside a jet of the Air Force if you're 7 feet tall. So he's like, they don't rebound.
They got to make exceptions. I like the joke, but they got to make exceptions for the basketball. Like, quit with that shit. We suck. We're that bad now. We need them on the we need them on the floor. Like, you know what I mean? They can stand around and do whatever. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's a use for them to fix the planes. You know what I mean? Do that type shit. Right?
You could do the ordnance, right? Like you could manage the jet fuel and handle the ordnance, right? Like, give them something to do out there.
Yes.
Even the linen process for some of them 7-footers. What up, Wine Time? It's good to see you, Nasty Nate, Andrew K. Appreciate all you guys checking us out. Groovy Alien says he's a huge fan of Miggity Matt Daddy, as we all are. So, hey, 5 p.m. I'm a huge fan of Portland State against Idaho. Boy, 782 tickets, C-Mac. I literally could make my card selection based on less than 1,000 ticket count games here, but plus 2.5. And Portland State's been that team that I've been rocking with here. Just a team that, especially in the dog roll, I don't know if it's just the conference and the way that they kind of match up in this thing here, but look, Portland State, you put them on the road against the spread. They've covered 9 straight. In fact, they're 9-0 this season. They have not covered a game on the road this season here. And you got an Idaho team, look, small profile games, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 points. They can play some ball. And when they get a mismatch, like to me, this conference has a huge separation between the haves and the have-nots, and you're either on top or you're getting thumped. And Idaho can go out there and give them competition, but 2.5 points. Yeah, look, it doesn't matter if they're home or on the road. They've got some impressive Northern Arizona. That was a tight defensively contested game out there. They win 63-52. I got a Northern Arizona spot that I was looking at this evening where I thought Northern Arizona's team total should be able to get there for the over. But yet here we go with Portland.
They're a bad team, Mike. They're bad.
They are.
Northern Arizona's bad right now. Yeah.
But I was looking at who they're playing tonight, and I was like, oh, that's a bad
Sure.
team too. But look, I think Portland State's able to go out there and hold court with these guys. I think the 2.5 points. I like the fact that they're on the road as the dog. I'm just going to continue to ride that trend until it bucks. So I got Portland State. I got the plus 2.5. That's a 5 p.m. Eastern start time. Portland State, CMAC, the ugly game of the day. But yeah, why not? I mean, look, sprinkle that money line too. It's plus 116. What do you think about these money line situations, CMAC, where you can catch a plus 116 or you can catch plus 2.5? Would you go? I mean, is it worth that much to you to get the plus 116, or would you just take the 2.5 points in your back pocket?
And in college basketball, I take the 2.5. For like, unless I really love the team, I'll take the money line. It's just, I don't know if I was talking about it with you. Maybe I forget. Just earlier this week, it's like so many of these games come down so close. Like, especially if I get in points, I want them, because in NHL and MLB, I'm on dogs all the time. They're just different sports. But you're saying if you love them, you don't have to win. Just take the money line, But there's so much variance with Portland State and Idaho here. This either. I mean, we're watching these games. We're going through. We know these teams, but a lot of people aren't. Portland State's rolling. You got it done. They got the slight cover. It's Eastern Washington, a slow game. They've gone under in 3 straight. Keep rolling. They're rolling ATS. I'm not taking Idaho of enough. Or either side. I couldn't take either team.
Ramon Scott says, do the tall guys fix the landing gear? Blake says, under holding up in the Kentucky game. All right, let's go. 5 p.m. window for you here. I know there's a game that you're looking at over there out west. Utah, Brigham Young, a big spread minus 18.5. You've got 86% of the bets and 82% of the cash on the Utah side of things. The Utes. And then total's gone from 165.5 to 166.5. Even a 167 is peeking its head in the marketplace with 67% of the bets and 68% of the cash on the under. In this game, what's your path to victory?
I'm on Utah here, and this is a rare place where I just had them at home. They just played January 10th. This kind of is a beatdown spot. But I just think they'll rival. They hate each other too much here. And BYU obviously is so very good. Of course, we know how good this team is. Players that they have, how good they are at home. But I think this is a shit ton of points. Utah just loses. But I think they're playing a lot better basketball, even on the road, as we're starting to see. More of the Utah basketball we've seen, because they were struggling early on in the year. And they're not great defensively. I just think this is a ton of points in this game. And I'll take them. Give me the 18.5 with Utah.
Go Utes, 7 p.m. I'm going to go on down to Manhattan and Iona. And I listen, I don't have a good poker face, you guys. I told you my situation with these MAC schools. And I heard they're rebranding. They're working on a new name. The MAC, not to be confused with the shit Great Lakes region of college football. But Manhattan and Iona are going to battle for New York here. And we got a total that's moved from, well, first of all, 459 tickets. Check the box. I like these low shit ticket count games. 8.5 has not moved, but 151.5s have moved to 152.5s now. And you have 61% of the bets and 62% of the cash. Looking at the side here, I mean, look, Iona was everybody was fan when they had your boy Patino coming back in there. He was getting it done, but the under for me, this is another one of those situations where it's like, not only do we have some of these conference play situations, but when Iona's playing in the conference, they are still the class of the conference to some degree. And what it shows is their ability to just kind of dictate pace and tempo. Look at these unders. And this is where I'm going with this game is the under. Iona, when they're in the same conference, 8-0 to the under this season. Another one of them spots, like we talked about Portland State as the road dog. Iona just finds a way that they match up well in this spot. Rick Pitino left this team in good shape as far as getting into the dance and doing the things that they were doing before he moved on. And, now we're looking at a situation where this team just, look, they battle. They play defense, 60 points against there's their Merrimack squad under 143.5. That was an easy under by 20 points. St. Peter's 77. They let up. They got a little leaky there, but they still stayed under. Ryder, Canisius. I mean, Canisius stinks there. The Golden Grizzlies, but minus 11.5. That game stayed. I mean, they held Canisius to 48 points. They kept Niagara to 53. I think Iona's got enough to keep this game at a lower scoring pace for us here. And excuse me, from a number perspective, I'm good with the 152.5. Take the under in that 152.5. Can I get you on some under?
I co-sign. I love it. I love it. I think this is too high. Manhattan too, just off a big game with a bunch of over. One thing I think Iona's going to shoot the ball, but that doesn't mean they can keep Manhattan here. I think they're due for it. And I think this number is just balloon. I love these games, especially with Iona.
Is it so high? Does it seem high to you, or is it just?
It seems a little bit. It seems like this was like it would be like I don't know 147. That range. I mean, what's Iona gone here? 9, 8, 7 straight unders.
8 straight unders.
Anyways, 9 of 10. 8 straight unders. Okay, and 9 of 10. And they haven't had one this high since December 20th, I believe.
Sounds about
and
right.
guess what? 83-78. That was against Vermont. That's about it. None of these other games have sniffed that game ever, the Vermont game. So that's always I just think it's too high. Maybe I only going to score 85 today. And then that yeah, man. Manhattan's horrible on the road. Horrible team on the road. This is why I love this conference. I take a lot of unders and I take the dogs when they're at home. These teams are so good at home and they fucking suck on the road. They're awful. Yeah. Go to every road record of Manhattan. Can you go after all of them? And it's got me because sometimes but it works out too. Like today, Canisius, I think they're getting 10.5. Like I don't think Fairfield should be laying 10 to anybody, even how well they play. And it makes me, and Canisius, I think I'm like 1-1 where they've been dogs on the road of catching around 10 or more. And they covered for me at one time and they lost by 20, which is going to happen with these in this conference. But it's one of my favorite conferences to bet, no doubt. Unders and home dogs. Nothing gets me more hyped than MEAC. Come on.
Degenerate shit. I get fired up.
Yeah, man. When you're so involved with it year in and year out, I'm like, and you can make money off a conference like that. And then all these West Coast teams that I know in and out that we talk about. I try to focus on those, especially. I'm trying to get paid, right?
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what. That's how I started. I mean, I was watching these schools in the backyard. I mean, I saw some of them in person, and it's like, man, they're just. Hey, we get paid. It doesn't matter where the money comes from. I got a school that gets me paid, and I don't know. It's a little tricky here because I'm looking at this Grand Canyon Fresno State game. There was one time. So for my history of Fresno State goes way back to like this. I had 9 parlays laid out one day. True story. 9 parlays laid out one day. Maybe it was 8, but they all had the Fresno State.
When was this?
This is probably
how many parlays?
This is probably 12 years ago that I had all these parlays, and literally we called it the perfect storm because it came all of them. And I don't know how it happened. It was bad risk management, but they all came back to Fresno State, and Fresno State ended up winning the game for me, so I got paid. But here we go, Fresno State plus 3.5 moved to 5s. There's 5s out there in the marketplace. Then we look at the total. It's moved from 138.5 to 141.5, and this is where I like to play with Fresno State. Not points at home. Don't lay points with Fresno State at home. but you can take points. And if you take points, you won 12 straight times. If you make Fresno State a home dog all the way back to 2021, so you got plenty of sample in this database here. 12 straight wins are Fresno State, and you're going to give me a 5 now? You moved it from 3.5 to 5. The best part for me about that, Grand Canyon has been ripping teams up, and this is a circled letdown spot when I was looking at this game, because we saw Grand Canyon. They just took it to San Diego State. San Diego State's kind of a big deal in this conference, and they were able to go out there and handle them. They handled Utah State. They're 4-1 in their last 5, and frankly, the only loss that we saw Grand Canyon deal with at New Mexico. Well, last I checked, New Mexico's a pretty tough place to play basketball. So, they got busted up. It was 23 points. It wasn't pretty, but I think this is a little letdown spot. And I think if you look at this Fresno State team, yeah, they just played at New Mexico, but look, they've been covering spreads, 4-1 their last 5. Dog situation at home, kind of an awkward little scheduling position here. I'm going to take the 5 points with Fresno State and frankly, I don't care how many points you get. I think this is the wrong team favorite. I think Fresno State can go out there and surprise everybody. Can I get you in on Fresno State?
I haven't bet it. I think this is the flat spot for Grand Canyon. I don't know if it's enough. It's tempting here, like at 5. I like what Fresno State's been doing at home. They lost to Utah State by 9? They lost to a point by Nevada. I remember that game. They covered, right? They were getting 4.5 in it. Well,
I know I gotta have a short.
You didn't talk to me. I was going to tell you Colorado State. It's yesterday. But, just giving you. I'm just giving you shit. But they beat Colorado State. They beat Wyoming. They've gone on the road, kind of just lost. Man. And I've been on Grand Canyon at home, those last few games. I think it is a fade spot. Maybe it's telling. We always talk about this. Is this enough for you for this Fresno team? Is this a big enough get-up spot for them? One thing, Grand Canyon, as good as they are, and then in tight spots they get baskets, they don't shoot the ball well. This is more of an under-type team, too, which I had been, taking. We talked about even on the their last game, it stayed under, even after kind of a high-scoring first half against San Diego State. And Fresno, I wouldn't say they're lighting it up either at all. So the points maybe are just that value here. I'd look under. I'm going to look at this a little bit more. This is what, 7:30 Eastern? Yeah, we got plenty of time.
Yeah, got plenty of time for that one. Well, we tied it back to it. Kind of works its way out. As far as kind of talking about that San Diego State game, they obviously had a big battle out there, and there's a bounce back opportunity here for San Diego State and UNLV. I know this one comes at 4 p.m. Eastern, but it's a spot that's on your card. So let's find out the path to victory. 13-4, San Diego State. We talked about them coming in off that loss to Grand Canyon. And then UNLV comes in here. They've won 3 straight. They're 10-8 out there in their own right, playing some battle ball. How you getting paid?
I'm on the under here. I'm on the under. I saw that's the best I've seen UNLV score all year long. At best, especially the second half. Even while they're down to Utah State, they come, I think they're down 13, 14 points. They just get red hot. I mean, they got easy buckets. They're great from the free throw line. This is like a 63% free throw shooting team, I believe. They shot 21 or 25, did UNLV. And we were talking about, I lean UNLV, even though this is a bounce back spot for San Diego State. These games have always are pretty good. I mean, I've gone to plenty of them. We were talking about it earlier. I'd love this more with UNLV if this was a night game. It's an early game. That's why I'm just on the under. I'm leaning UNLV. I think they keep it close. I think they've started to work some things out a little bit. The offense was that bad. I mean, 31% from 3, right? Just 68%. Sorry, I was giving them too much. But they do get to the free throw line. But when you brick, I watched it. It's like, whew, nothing's worse. That team that can't hit the free throws. They're free, right, Mike? So I yell at the fucking screen. They're fucking free. Drill them. You at least get 75% around here. So yeah, under 150.5. And I lean UNLV. I think they can kind of keep it tight at home. Decent home team, even though it's a bounce back spot. a little bit. And San Diego State's been good on the road. When they play their best basketball, it's their defense too. Like you think they'll be focused here, I think, a little bit. San Diego State.
Yeah, I would think a team like San Diego State that's coming off that loss there, you gotta think defense first, right? You gotta get back to your comfort zone and then figure out a way to pour it on the team. So I get down with that. I like that under in that spot for you as well. T-Mac, we're at the hour mark, my friend. Time flies when we're talking college hoops, but we kind of ripped around the board. Any closing thoughts, any games that you want to kind of hit on that we didn't touch here, or how you feeling?
I think we're good. There's teams, some of these games a little bit later. I don't know if there's enough to do it, like Davidson. I don't know. It's a team. I like them more in this role a little bit. They're a team, traditionally, when they're at home laying points, Mike, talk about a horseshit team. They suck. Yeah. It seems like they just, especially the last few years, it just seems like they can't get it done at all. That was about it. Do you have anything else?
I can't get it done in the A10 this year. I've been struggling on some A10 games. I don't know. This is just not my year when it comes to it.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Every year is different.
Right. And that's where they say when you're capping, like when you start capping college basketball, I was a believer in it. You figure out, find a conference, stick with it for a little while out there and see what you can do. But I'll tell you one last spot that I like here. It's a late night game. And it has to do with the under for Cincinnati. I mean, Arizona State, I think Arizona State goes out there and literally puts the belt to ass. I'm not putting my neck in the chopping block by saying that. The spread tells you it's going to be, it's 2.5 points here with Cincinnati as the favorite, but I think the wrong team's favored. And I think this is one of them situations where Cincinnati comes into this one, and Cincinnati is an under school for me. You put them on, they're an under squad at home. And so now when you move them to a new gym, traveling across the country, there's enough reason for me to want to get involved here. Both, I think, in Arizona State, finding a way to get it done. And this is where I was thinking Arizona State, if they allowed 70 or more points the previous game, they're an over squad. They're 10-2 to the over. So if you look back at kind of their recent spot out there, they lost 75-63 to another under school that I like in West Virginia. So if we can see, and look at the Houston game, to me was the anomaly. They got busted up by Houston, and Houston tends to be an under school, but we're not seeing that so much this year. Houston can go out there and do some things here, but I think this is a spot where we can look at the Cincinnati squad. Road favorites, when they're in the road favorite role, they're 66-27 to the under. They're 7-3. When you put them in this profile, 117 to 154.5, the unders hit 325 and 237 times against them. So lots going on here. Home unders after a big loss follow the criteria for this Arizona State team against that West Virginia squad out there. So I like the under. Give me the under. I'll add this last one here as a little cherry on top, C-Mac, a little sprinkler here for this late night spot for Cincinnati and Arizona State. Give me the under.
All right, let's get it. We got you want to hit up the chat real quick? We got any games? Anybody wants to talk about real quick before we bounce?
Damn right. Shout out to the chat. I saw somebody in the chat said, C-Mac, do you cap any UFC? C-Mac plays some UFC.
Yeah.
Come on.
If I can make a buck, I'm trying to find it.
Shout out to Coin in the house. Blake M says Villanova game. Any thoughts from you on the Villanova game, C-Mac?
Not for me. What about you?
No, I really didn't see.
Not really.
Villanova didn't really make my.
It's a game I like. This game's gonna tip pretty soon. What do you feel about St. John's? I don't think they're that. I think they're very good. Do you? Yeah. I take Xavier here. I take the 8.5.
But I'm St. John's from Patino. I'm biased because I've made some good money with St. John's. What I don't like about St. John's is the fact that they play in 2 different home stadiums.
I've always,
It drives me nuts because it's like you have I guess, I don't know. I just can't. I didn't get there, but I'm okay with Xavier. If you want to get on the Xavier side of things, I can't talk you off it.
Yeah, I mean the Nova's it's got to 11.5. It's like Connecticut, and that's why they under. Even though this has moved about a point. Low scoring game. Both teams, I mean, they're going to play this at a snail's pace, and they're going to hit a bunch of shots. Nova, Connecticut.
Connecticut's so goddamn good,
Okay, all right.
You're right about the pace, though, right? I mean, they want to grind you down and chew you up and spit you out. That's a tough game. I think you fade teams after the UConn spot. I'll have to look and see what that looks like there. But they really.
Hey, I had Nova last Saturday versus St. John's. St. John's had a great second half. Pulled away, whatever they won by 5 or 6, because I had Nova plus 2.5. So I remember these games. These games are the losses.
Chris Mullen Saints over every time, 88-76 at least, says Guido. Elliot Jameson says he appreciates the show. Appreciates you, my
Chris
friend.
Mullen, legend. St. John's legend. Chris Mullen.
St. John's, baby. The Johnnies. Why not? Get some Johnny cakes in your lives out there. I think that does it for us. You guys hear it. Elliot Jameson says Portland State's plus 1.5 on FanDuel. Appreciate you guys all checking us out, man. AOD's in the house. Guido says F Chicago State. I'm going back to bed.
What do you think about this move? Murray State, someone asked about. I like Northern Iowa at home. Money's on them. This is move, though, to Murray State. Minus 1.5, 2 even. What do you think about that?
What time
Murray State
slot do you have for that game? What time slot?
4 o'clock. 4 Eastern.
Let me take a look.
Murray State, Northern Iowa.
I find when there's so many games, I need to help me whittle it down.
Oh,
so
I
see where.
No doubt. Hey, there's a lot of games. A lot of them to look at.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, I got it pulled up.
Murray lost 5 in a row. Northern Iowa's on an L5, and you got Murray State coming off that loss. The lines moved from 0 to 2.5 in favor of.
There goes Mike turning. This is why next week we'll have the dual stream on, so I can end live. Hopefully he comes back. If not, we'll be out of here, or he's going to come back. He's got to shut it off. Bottom line. This game's tough. I take Northern Iowa. Now, they struggle so much. They struggle so much scoring. It's like, can this team get any buckets? But they still play a ton of defense. So can I keep them alive in this game? It's too tough for me. I'm definitely off. Any other questions? Obviously, we're about to bounce. I don't know if Mike's coming back or not, but I'm getting the fuck out of here. He can end it. No shit, Ramon. What the fuck are you talking about? Next time I'll be on live so I can end the show. We won't have these issues. We know Mike's in a big snowstorm. This guy over there. Be safe, everyone. That's why I live in Las Vegas. I have to deal with this bullshit. But that's it. Coin everyone in here. Guido, great to see you. AOD. My God, yeah, D, good to see you, man. It's been a minute since I've seen you. Blake, everyone in here. Wine Time, what up, my man? Great to see you. Nasty, Nate, Friar Smash. He wouldn't say anything else. I know him. Razor Sharp Picks, Robert McCormick. Great to see you as always. Nicholas Handy, my dude. Appreciate you. That is it. I'm taking off. Unless anyone has another question on the game before I get the fuck out of here. Hit me with it. Mike's not coming back. He can leave this and end it. We get out of here. So any other game anyone else wants? Now my Wi-Fi skipping. All right. I'm going to get out of here. That's it. We're out of here. I'll see you soon. I'll see you next week here. Peace. Betting the board. Later.